Ha, na background noise. Okay. Znivs versus Arvin. Take 2. Kay na DC ta ganina. So, this time, Znivs has Burger. His Incineroar. But, like earlier, that used to be a Floette in that slot, but now it's Burger the Incineroar along with Fries and his Annihilate. Arvin, though, not changing up his lineup, still going for that Sun team with the Leafeon. Now, something to note here is that Sneasler he has with the extra does not have Fake Out. Instead, it has Swords Dance and Protect. So here we go. Znivs versus Arvin. Take 2. Arvin will be leading with that Whimsicott and Sneasler, similar to the very first game we had, but Znivs will be leading with Incineroar and that Charizard, ready to just go for that immediate, very immediate Mega Evolution into an unconventional Charizard X, Mega Charizard X. This is a physically oriented Charizard, so it is not capable of using those spread out heat waves that we're normally so accustomed to seeing these Charizards, but it's going to have that devastating Dragon Dance capability. And Sneasler here did activate Unburden after the Intimidate because of the Mental Herb, but yeah, it definitely can outspeed this Charizard when it really wants to. But Incineroar here has Fake Out Pressure, and it will be faking out the Sneasler. No Mega Evolution coming from Znivs though. He's going for a straight Dragon Dance, probably anticipating a possible close combat from the Sneasler. But interestingly, there is no Tailwind on Arvin's side of the field. While his Sneasler is gonna be significantly faster than this Charizard on Sniv's side, a single Dragon Dance will be enough, along with a Dragon Claw, to knock out the non-shiny Charizard on Arvin's side of the field. On the other hand, okay, so Znivs will be bringing his Incineroar back into its Pokeball, and in its place, this Mousehold, which does have Friend Guard, will be taking its place. Mega Evolution finally coming from that Charizard, turning into Charizard X, Mega Charizard X. But Arvin's not taking this lightly. He's answering. You made a call and I'm going to answer. My own Mega Charizard Y is coming in, not X. My Charizard is also going to Mega Evolve, and unlike yours, I'm bringing in the Sun with me. Sneasler, seeing that it is the fastest thing on the field, just goes for that immediate Swords Dance, but Znivs calls it out. Swords Dance powering up? Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna hit you with Flare Blitz and you're going to cry back into your Pokeball. On the other hand, this Charizard Y has Dragon Pulse, but the Friend Guard bringing in so much value here. That Mousehold coming in with the Friend Guard does not allow this Charizard Y to take this KO on the Charizard X. Whimsicott on Sniv's side of the field though, he will be able to act... No, not Sniv's side. Arvin's side of the field. So it will be able to use Tailwind this turn, allowing this Charizard to outspeed the Let me rephrase that properly. If this Whimsicott goes for a Tailwind, Mega Charizard Y on Arvin's side is going to be able to outspeed Mega Charizard X on Sniv's side. But I was about to explain that Znivs can very easily just go for a follow me and make sure that this Charizard, even if it has the speed advantage, will not be able to KO Mega Charizard X. But Arvin doesn't fall for it, goes for the Heat Wave almost immediately, but with a times 1/4 effectiveness on that Charizard X, it just doesn't get the KO. But we're at a bit of a conundrum here. That single Swords Dance with the Charizard X was not enough to take out this Charizard Y. So, responding to this, Znivs will be bringing in his own Incineroar in place of the Mousehold and protecting his Mega Charizard X. I imagine that Arvin's going for an aggressive option here because we did not see the Whimsicott do anything with a status move. Prankster did not activate. It goes for the Moonblast into the Mousehold slot, which is now an Incineroar, while Arvin cleans up his options here and goes for another Heat Wave into the Incineroar here. I mean, it's not effective, but it still did a pretty good amount of damage. Incineroar does have the Fake Out advantage, but speed advantage is still with Arvin. Both players made their choices real quick here. Arvin pulls out his own Charizard. Actually, both players bring in their Charizard and end up sending out substitutes. Annihilate showing up for the very first time in Pokemon Champions makes its debut. Incineroar will be faking out into the Whimsicott, breaking that Focus Sash, not allowing it to do anything. But this very aggressive Venusaur's eyeing down the opposition here. Arvin's Venusaur does have Chlorophyll in the sun, and there is still a single turn. It does have the speed advantage with Chlorophyll and Tailwind, but Znivs responds kindly with, okay, I see what you're doing. I'm going to just pause the game here, and I'm going to protect myself. They double into the Annihilate. Both the Venusaur and the Whimsicott double into the Annihilate, and it just does not get the KO. The Protect just bounces everything off of it, allowing this Incineroar to look at the Whimsicott. You know, they call me the best support in the game for a reason, and I'm about to show you why. It takes full advantage of the sun, takes out the Whimsicott, but now will allow this Charizard Y to come back in and set the sun back up all over again for this Venusaur. But Charizard Y here with only 5% of HP remaining. It's not a lot, but it's infinitely more than 0. So, a nice change we see from the original Pokemon, the original Champions releases. Percentages are now shown in the spectator's screen, and the Tailwind conditions are on the lower right and lower left. That's just an astute observation, while the field condition of the terrain or the weather stays at the very top. That's something to note of for these casting calls, but yeah, going back into the game, this Charizard and Venusaur combo is quite potent, and the thing is, it's the very last two Pokemon that Arvin has. He's gonna have to think of something real fast here. While he does have the advantage of speed and power, Snip still has 4 Pokemon left. And we will be seeing the Venusaur go for a Solar Beam into this Annihilate, and it just does not do as much damage as you'd hope. Heat Wave also unable to pick up the KO after being doubled up on. Rage Fist coming out in the first time for Annihilate, and we're gonna see exactly why Annihilate is such a force to be reckoned with. Flare Blitz coming from this Incineroar will be taking out this Charizard, taking full advantage of the sun that was set up for it by that very same Charizard that went down just a few seconds ago. And with that, Znivs will be taking Game 1. We are back with Game 2, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are once more, game 2, Znivs versus Arvin, but Arvin appears to have selected a different team? Okay. Not, again, this is a... So, this isn't exactly a official practice match. This is for fun, first and foremost. So, mobile issues, am I right? Arvin has accidentally selected another team, but of course in a official bout, that will not be tournament legal and that may result in a round forfeit. But this isn't tournament right now, it's just for fun. And in most cases, a judge can just rule that Arvin, in this case, was selected the wrong team, can swap his team out and continue the game as needed. However, again, not the case right now. It's gonna be a lot of for fun. The fun thing about Arvin's team, though, is it is 6 Pokemon with Intimidate. There are... You read that, right? If you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at, folks, that is 6 Pokemon with Intimidate. If this Annihilate goes in on turn 1, it is just going to eat up all of these. It's going to get a Defiant boost so strong that it's going to be able to do whatever it wants. I'm sorry, it's just... there it is, the very first Defiant boost. And the second Defiant is... okay, forgive me, folks. This Annihilate just started the game as... No, this Annihilate just came in and said, okay, there's an Incineroar and a Gyarados on the opposite side of the field. Yeah, my Rage Fist isn't exactly the strongest thing right now, but I don't think I care too much. Mousehold will be protecting itself here. I guess it doesn't want to get faked out into by the Incineroar, and like clockwork, Incineroar goes for the free hit, but yeah, Buff Senku, the Annihilate just goes for a punch into the Incineroar. Drain Punch will be knocking it out in one hit after 2 attack boosts because of Defiant. Unfortunately, Arvin has targeted into the Mousehold with his Gyarados as well. Doesn't want to buff up that Rage Fist, but that was quite unfortunate. A very unfortunate first turn for Arvin. The double Intimidate into the Annihilate just allowed it to boost so significantly. So, like I said earlier, Arvin's team appears to be 6 Pokemon with Intimidate. Each time something comes in, it will be buffing this Annihilate. Whether he likes it or not, this Annihilate is now at +3. A Quick Claw coming from the Gyarados does happen. It manages to hit the Annihilate with... oh, well, now Rage Fist is just... This is a very classic strategy to attack your own Pokemon. So this Rage Fist is now at about 300 base power, but the Waterfall will be getting the flinch here into the Annihilate. So Annihilate unfortunately will not be able to move that turn, but it now has the 300 base power Rage Fist. And whether it goes for a Drain Punch into the Luxray to heal itself off, or a Rage Fist into the Gyarados, it's gonna be able to just run away with some... It's gonna be able to run away with a lot of things here, so long as the Mousehold also manages to use Follow Me. But Luxray will be protecting itself, and this Gyarados will be able to go for Waterfall once more. But Znivs, seeing this exact play happen, will be using Follow Me to force that Gyarados into attacking the Mousehold. And in this case, Buff Senku, the Annihilate has no choice but to Drain Punch into that. Well, it could have used Rage Fist into the Gyarados, but it chose to Drain Punch into that protected Luxray. Arvin's gonna have to think of something real fast here because the threat of the Mouse Hold still having the Follow Me will not allow anything to go into this Annihilate. Arvin's gonna have to take out this Annihilate, or everything coming in after it is not going to have a good time at all. So, yeah, I imagine Mousehold is going to once again go for a Follow Me, and this Annihilate will be the one to move next. Drain Punch into the Luxray, allowing itself to heal, but Focus Sash saving the Luxray completely. The question is, will this Annihilate be able to survive a hit from the Luxray? So long as it's not a critical, I think it should be alright. But there is no more Follow Me pressure coming from the Mousehold. The damage goes into the Annihilate, heals a little bit, and we're back where we started, about 35% earlier. It was about 40. So Annihilate manages to heal off what it needed, took another hit, and well, yeah. But this Incineroar is gonna have the fake out pressure. Luxray has no choice here but to, well, it's gonna have to protect again. Both of these Pokemon are gonna have to protect again if both of them are gonna have to protect if they want to be able to get away from this fake out. But at the same time, the mind games are going to be playing a lot. This Annihilate can bulk up. I believe it can bulk up. But yeah, Burger the Incineroar will be going for a fake out in that protecting Luxray. But Buff Senku the Annihilate will be using Rage Fist into the Gyarados. No more Focus Sashes to save you here. The Gyarados goes down in one hit. See, that is significant. It is faster than the Gyarados. Heals up a little more, but yeah, this Annihilate, a little worse for wear. It still has Drain Punch. Quick Claw did not activate for the Gyarados on that turn. But again, Intimidate will be dropping this Annihilate's attack by 1, but raising it by 2. This Annihilate is now at +4. Anything that dares to touch this Annihilate is not going to have a good time. But because it was hit again by that Play Rough, Annihilate now has 350 base power on that Rage Fist. It is now the strongest thing in the game. Arbok does have the Sucker Punch, but yeah, Parting Shot coming from Incineroar will be weakening that Arbok. And, well, not much it can do there. Despite the Sucker Punch, it is still an Arbok. Znivs will be bringing in his Golden Go in place of that Incineroar, though. Golden Go here. Attack drop from the Play Rough, but Golden Go is not a physical attacker. It is, as we all know, a special attacker. So something Znivs can do that would be quite cheeky here would be to bring his Incineroar back in to guarantee that Fake Out Pressure is once again alive, but at the same time, force that Sucker Punch to do little to no damage. And he does exactly that. He brings Incineroar back in to get a second proc of Intimidate into the Arbok. So if this Arbok goes for a Sucker Punch, it should not be able to KO into the Arbok. But the Arbok manages to avoid it. The Arbok has Bright Powder? Bright Powder Arbok. But something we have to take note of here. Rage Fist no longer has a power cap. This Rage Fist is at 400 base power right now. This Arbok has buffed this Incineroar Annihilate combo, and it's just, it used Earthquake. I'm just trying to process what's going on here. But the Arbok will be using Protect this turn, but I imagine Incineroar will be faking out into the Luxray and does exactly that, knocking the Luxray out finally, bringing this into a 2v1. Drain Punch will be hitting the Arbok despite it being not very effective. It should be enough to heal up this Annihilate in case that Sucker Punch were to do anything like, say, a crit. So this is now a lone Arbok versus 3 the Annihilate, the Incineroar, and the Golden Go. And here it goes, Sucker Punch, doing a measly 9%. A 450 base power Rage Fist. I'm pretty sure that would have KO'd Arbok several times over. But that being said, this game has been game, set, and match. Znivs will be taking game 2 and the entire set.